Hello, Algebra 2B students. So you'll notice that I'm not here today, and I'm sorry I forgot to warn you about it. Hopefully you got the message from me on Remind. If you are not on Remind, please let me know when I get back. So what we're doing, instead of having the test today, you get one more day to study, we're going to go over probably the easiest standard that we will have. So the standard is that you can do operations with polynomials. So we have adding and subtracting polynomials is where we're going to start today. So this is the specific page for how to, but we're going to do some other things with it. So here's some vocabulary. So you have this, you're going to write down everything that I write down. If I just had something like negative 3x to the fourth, just this thing, so there's one variable, one thing there, that is called a monomial. Meaning there's one thing, so monomial. If we had the two things with it, if we had negative 3x to the fourth plus 2x, so two things, two monomials, that would be a binomial. What would it be called if we had three things? We had mono means one, bi means two. What is it when it's three things? Good, that would be a trinomial. But then what we do is we just summarize all of them, whether there's a monomial, a binomial, or many, poly means many nomials, then it is a polynomial. And then each of those would have, like, the degree is just the highest exponent. So just like we did on the other thing. So the last part you're going to have a test on. So the degree for this one is 4. Same with this one. The degree is 4. If we look at this part, the degree of just that part in the parentheses, also 4. If we look at this one, the highest power is 4. If we look at this one right here, the highest power is 3, so the degree is 3. So those are the degrees. And I'm just double checking. Okay, so we have the degree, that's the exponent. The next thing that you need to know is the coefficient, that's the number in front. So everybody write this down, coefficient. It is the number in front of the variable, and it indicates how many there are and if it's positive or negative. So like if I had that negative 3x to the fourth, negative 3 is the coefficient. So there are 3 of them, 3 negative x to the fourths. And then I think you need to know a constant. A constant is just a number, no variable. So like the 12, the minus 12 right there at the end, that would be a constant. Or this 4 right there would be a constant. So this is what you will have to do. So now that you have the vocabulary, make sure you have that down. The other part for how to do this standard is you have to know what standard form is. So I want everybody to underline or highlight standard form. And I want you to come over here. You're going to list highest degree to lowest. So we have this one, and x to the fourth, the one just less than that, is the x to the third, then regular x, then 12. Same thing with this one, but then you have to line them up. So there's only an x to the fourth here. There are no x to the thirds in the second one, so it's blank. So we write them in standard form, align the terms. If there's nothing there, leave it blank, and then add. So here we have the x to the fourth, no other x to the third, so that can come straight down. The first one doesn't have an x squared, so it just comes straight down. They both have x's, so we add them. They both have constants, so we add them. So negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. If we wanted to, we could put a 1 in there. That just came straight down. That came straight down. 2 plus 9 is 11. Negative 12 plus 4 is negative 8. So you can write this whole thing out like that if you want to. You don't necessarily have to. So then we're going to do these examples of how to add the polynomials. So I'm looking at number 1 here, and I can see the x to the fourths. So I'm going to line those up. And we'll have 5x to the fourth plus x to the fourth. I'm going to put a check mark to show that I've done it already. Now I'm going to do cubed goes next. So in the top one I have 4x cubed. That one's done. Looking for more x cubed. Oh, there's a 6x cubed. Done. Now we go to squared. So there's 2x squared on this one. Done. And then minus 3x squared on the one below. So notice they're lining up nicely like this. Check that off. Then we have 7x on this one and 10x on the second one. Check those off. And then we have a minus 11 up here and nothing on this one, so I can just leave that blank. And now we just simply add straight down. So if I had 5x to the fourth, then I get one more. I have 6x to the fourths. If I had 4x cubes and I get 6 more x cubes, I have 10x cubes. So notice that the powers aren't changing at all. All you do is add those coefficients. So 2 plus negative 3. You have 2 positive x squareds and you get 3 negative x squareds. You'll be left with 1 negative x squared. I'm not going to put the 1 there. Then 7x's plus 10 more x's is 17x's. And then nothing else with that one, so minus 11. So that's the adding one. I will leave this one for you to do. I'm going to, we'll use 3 for you to do. You can still try them now, and then whoever's showing the video, please pause the video. Again, please pause the video. So this is a reminder, you should do the other problems before seeing the rest of it. So if the video hasn't been paused yet, this is when it would be a good time to pause. And the answers. So again, you're lining everything up, and once you line everything up, you would be left with these answers. So 4x cubed plus 6x squared minus x minus 13. And the next one would be 4a to the fourth minus 2a cubed minus 9a squared minus 2a plus 14. And the last one would be negative 3y plus 7. This video is going to be on the like on the Google Classroom thing, so if you didn't get it, it's okay. All right, next part. So subtracting, it's almost exactly the same. So again, you're going to write it in standard form, and then you are going to make the opposites. So you're going to add the opposites. So all of those things are going to be the opposite. Reason why is you're basically distributing a negative 1 to all of those things. So they're all going to be opposites. So when you're adding, you're going to add the opposite, and then you just add. So same thing, just remember that the second one is the opposite. So that's what they did here. So again, the opposite of negative x to the fourth is positive x to the fourth. The opposite of 4x squared is negative 4x squared. The opposite of negative 2x is plus 2x. And the opposite of plus 1 is minus 1. So you line those up, added them, voila. So let's try this one. So I know that it always starts with the highest power, so negative x to the fourth. Then I know it goes down in power, so I'm going to keep on writing until I might have to miss one. So minus 4x cubed plus 3x squared plus 8x. So I might have a constant there, but I can see these went 4, 3, the powers went 4, 3, 2, 1, and then I might have a constant there, but not on this particular part. Then the next ones, I'm going to do opposites. I'm going to write opposites above 9, then minus 5x to the fourth, plus 3x squared, minus 10x. So I like to write the opposites here. Cross them out so I can remember that I did that. So coming over here, I'm going to write those down. So negative 5x to the 4th. There are no cubes, so you'll leave nothing under there. The squared, there's plus 3x squared. Plain x, we have minus 10x. And sure enough, there was a constant. So now we're just going to add those up. So negative 5x to the 4th, negative 5x to the 4th plus negative x to the 4th is negative 6x to the 4th minus 4x to the 3rd plus 6x squared minus 2x minus 9, because I added those up. So pause the video again and practice these problems. Come back soon and we'll check the answers, and then that's the end of the lesson. So pausing the video here, do those other problems. So hopefully you did the other problems, you paused it. So checking answers for those is voila, right here. So number 6, we got 3x to the 4th minus x to the 3rd plus 4x squared minus 5x minus 8. The next one would be 2c to the 4th minus 5c cubed plus c squared plus 7c minus 17. And then the last problem, number 8, is 3r to the 3rd plus r squared plus r. So the rest of the class is yours to do the other problems on these other worksheets, just adding and subtracting polynomials. Good luck. Due by the end of class.